And hello everybody and welcome to today's live stream. And I know that I am 3 minutes early, but I could not care less since I saw that we already had 3 people who were not only waiting for me to get this started, but who were in the room. So I was like, yeah, we have to get this done. And today's show will be special in a way because today, for the first time, I have my computer set up next to me and I will be able to answer questions on the fly in chat as well, which is going to be weird looking at my hand and like making weird moves. And let's see how many seconds is the delay. There is a short delay here. Let me switch this from top chat to normal chat so I can see you guys commenting. So, what are we going to do today? We are going to do some weathering to the turret today. I sealed what we did yesterday with a coat of matte varnish from AK. The ultra matte varnish was used for this. As you can see, I'm wearing gloves because I'm working with enamels today, and I like wearing the glove, although I might just take them off in a second because every now and then it gets a bit distracting and you want to have the feel on your fingers, especially when you're doing something very delicate. So let's get rid of those gloves. Okay, so what are we using? We are using AK's Winter Streaking Grime and AK's Rust Streaks today on the turret to make some nice dirt deposits and rusty stains where there are chips with the metal rust, and we'll see how that works out. And then of course we need to blend them with some white spirit. As you can see, our turret, that's where we left it in yesterday. Let me zoom this in for you so you can see more of the turret. This is where we were yesterday. I touched up some of the red on the tarp, on the flag in the back. Other than that, nothing happened. But let me lower the blind so you don't have this weird reflection of the sun from outside distract you on the camera. Should have done this before going live, but never mind, here we go. So, like I said, we are going to work on this turret. Oh, good afternoon. Krugel at the E. By the way, I have to thank you for becoming a patron of mine yesterday. That was very, very nice of you. I appreciate that. So, you were number 2 after Mr. Varkas, so very much appreciate it. So, let me get this brush actually, because this is a smaller brush. And you need a very fine brush when you want to do the streaking effect. It's always nice for me to have the computer running next to me so I can check whether or not everything I'm doing is still in shot. So it's going to be hard for me to do this in a way that you guys can see everything and that I can see everything actually. So I'll try my best to make this as accessible as possible for you guys. So give the enamel paints a very, very good shake before you start, because it's important to have them well shaken so that the pigment and the thinner actually mix well. I don't know what's happening here with the turret. Just starts falling over weirdly. Yeah, it doesn't want to sit in the way I want it to sit. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, that's well shaken. You could, if you wanted to, put this in a different tray, which I might do. No, I'm not doing this today. Just in order to always keep it nicely mixed, but I'm just going to use it straight from the bottle today. Then you, of course, dip your brush in it, like so, and then you take the turret, and I'll try to keep this in shot as much as possible. Alright, let's just go. Like, you don't have to be like careful, because you will, like I said, blend this in a second. Just put some streaks on there where you think there would be streaks. Of course, here underneath, there, do some on here as well. Why not? If you want them to be heavier, just like go over them again. Good afternoon, Mr. Barkus. Yes, I wanted to show some people how to do this. And I'm going to do this side by side. I always do this like one side at a time, just so that I don't like kind of, I don't know, screw things up by touching it. Oops, the chair does not want to sit in a way. I want it to sit. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, the delay on my computer is a bit weird. Looking at it, like, I don't know, 10 seconds after it actually happened can be a bit distracting. And then, of course, always, and this is very important, because I have the tendency to throw over stuff, always screw them shut, always put the lid on, and move them out of the way so you just don't throw them over. Then we wait for a couple seconds to let it sit. So you can see it's just streaks on the side. Looks weird if you leave it like this, but we won't. We will blend this with white spirit in a second. So what I use for this is I use a soft brush like this, and I use a flat brush like this. Normally I start with the soft brush and I moisten it with the white spirit and take most of it off again, because it shouldn't be a wet brush, just a moist brush, because otherwise you'll just take everything off again. And then, and I'll try to keep this in shot as much as possible, you'll just work this from top to bottom. And just move this in a downward motion. Try not to take everything off. And this is hard for me right now because this is a weird position to do it in. And then you can take the flat brush, which is perfectly dry, has nothing on it. Take the wet brush again, the moist brush. Work it down, downward motion. Yeah, that's too much. I have to look at this for a second. Try and stipple this in with the blended with the dry brush. And thanks to the moisture that we put on with the soft brush, it makes it easier for us to then blend it with the dry brush. Ah, come on. Ah, the brush is too dry. It's gotten too dry. If that happens, just put some more white spirit on it. Yes, I could also do them with oils, yes. But since I have the streaking grams, why not? Why not use the streaking gram? You know, I'm a lazy guy. I like to use pre-mixed products, like products that just kind of like are easy to use, just like not much thinking, just put them on and just use them. I like this sort of thing, and I'm sorry that I have to have the brush sitting in front of your view, probably. This, then just blend it with the flat brush. There you have it. Move this closer, and hopefully the camera will pick it up. I normally don't use satin varnish though, so the satin finish thing is kind of a problem for me. It's a very subtle effect. It's not like a very, like, I'm sorry. Sadly, you can't see this on the camera. For whatever reason, it's not filming in HD, I think. Let me see. Okay. Weird. Like, but you hopefully get what I was doing, and I'll do this the same effect to the other side now, and hopefully you guys can take something away from this. You don't want to overdo it. Don't want to do too much, because if you do too much, it will just look weird and unrealistic. Keep this in shot, otherwise people will just say, oh, you never keep stuff in shot. Alright, let's do something similar here to the other side. Dip our brush in it. Make sure to have enough on the brush, then close the lid. Don't throw it over. Don't want to make a mess. And then just, oh, that was a lot. That was a bit too much there. Just trying to. Alright, and then again, like we did earlier, just let it sit for a second, let it start to dry. Don't leave it there for a day or two, because then it will be hard to remove. But if you just leave it for a couple of minutes, everything should be fine. Clean the brush after you've used that, and you should be good to go, because those brushes can be expensive, and these are Mako Modellbau brushes that I bought at the local dealer, who actually has his own brushes, which is great because they are actually good brushes. So once again, let this sit for a second. Take a sip. Always keep in mind to drink. Hydration is big to keep your brain working. Hydration is big to keep your brain working. So yesterday's video that I took last night, like the second live hangout that we had yesterday, sadly the quality of the camera was really bad, so that's why I decided to go back to the phone. And I think that the video quality is already better than what we achieved yesterday. So let me see. No, it's still too wet. Still need to wait a little more. You can see the grading, or the grade of how much it has dried when you look at it, and just always try to, yeah, that effect on the other side is really good. I will take a picture of this and put it on Facebook at a later time. Once again, I want to thank Mr. Barkus, and I want to thank Krugerle for becoming patrons of mine yesterday. Like I said yesterday, I reactivated my Patreon account because YouTube has decided to make it less of a priority for them to support smaller channels like mine. And I'm kind of like, alright, why am I monetizing anyways? And of course I haven't like had the largest output of videos lately, but there are reasons, and whenever I get the time, like now, whenever I'm off and I really have time to spare and to make a video, I really enjoy coming back, showing off techniques, showing you guys how I do stuff. And yeah, I'm a bit sad that YouTube has decided to kind of say screw you to smaller channels like mine. So yeah, I had to look for an alternative avenue, oops, to, yeah, get some revenue in a way, because let's face it, modeling is not the cheapest of hobbies. And to sustain a steady income, or not a steady income, but like a steady output of videos and a steady output of kits that I want to review and like, or builds that I want to do, I have to look for ways to at least partially help me finance it, because I'm just a teacher trainee, so I don't make like tons and tons of money. So obviously it's great to have like some other ways of making this possible. And yeah, so AdSense was great until YouTube decided to just like, no, not supporting small channels anymore. messing up this site right now. I have to turn it over so I can see what I'm doing here, because I'm screwing this up in a way. And yeah, that's why I'm talking about this Patreon stuff. I don't want to sound like needy or anything. I'm not. Trust me. So if you guys just can't or don't want to, that's perfectly fine with me. Perfectly fine with me. I'm just grateful for everyone who thinks that supporting me is a good idea. And I became a patron of Mr. Barkas as well yesterday, because I thought like that he really deserved some support, because he puts out so much great stuff. And if I can be part of making it possible for him to make this to do this full time, hell yeah, I'll be all for that. Like full time, like a full time modeler in Germany. Holy shit, yeah, that would be great. If we could, if he could achieve that. So yeah, that's all right. Now we've got this site done as well, and I really like the look of it. Oh, I'm sorry. I just see that on my computer screen. I can see that I was out of shot there for a second. Yeah, on this side. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, I had to look at it for a second, and maybe I need to zoom out a bit. Yeah, maybe let me zoom out a bit. I can't zoom out. Need to mute the chat. If I mute the chat, can I? No, I can't. Damn it. Anyways, never mind. So yes, I like this side now after having retouched it. Some nice and subtle streaks, which is exactly what you're looking for. Let's do the turret bin now. And again, same procedure. Shake the bottle. Yeah, I don't know if $1,000 is what it will take for him to do this professionally. Oh wait, it did zoom out. What the hell? All right, did zoom out. That's okay. That's fine with me. The fact that he could like that he can even like think of doing this, yeah, I want to support that. I really do, and I think that. Yeah, I don't think €1,000 will, or $1,000 will make it possible, but just helping him achieve this, helping him like achieve his, if it is his dream, probably, or possibly. There you go. Zoom back in. Hide the chat again. There we go. Zoom back in, and then of course, don't forget underneath the turret bin, some grime would collect there too. So add some streaks and red marks, and of course the sides of the turret bin as well. There would be dirt and dust collecting there, and every time it rains, they would run, and maybe even add one or two to the top of the turret bin. All right, there we go. Ooh, right. His flat in Augsburg could then be put up for rent. Yeah. So are you seriously considering quitting being a watchmaker to become a full-time YouTube model maker? It would be interesting to know if you're seriously considering this, or if this is just like a dream of yours that you have thought of, but yeah, so it would be interesting to know if you're really that set on doing this if opportunity strikes. So I really like having my computer usable while we do this. Really good. I like this setup, and I think that I will keep this setup going forward. No, that's the wrong bottle. This is the right bottle. That way I can read up on your messages, because it's hard for me to look at my phone because it's tilted at an angle, so that I can shoot from overhead basically, and that way I can keep up with what you guys write in the chat, as well as focus on doing this properly. That was a bit too much there. Not much too much. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that would be like some heavy streaks, because the dustbin. Not dustbin. The turd bin is not that often stepped on by the crew, so there would be a lot more dirt and stuff that would collect there and would not like get moved off by the crew using it. And of course, this also adds some nice tonal variation to the gray, because it can be a bit boring to just have a gray tank, right? There we go. That's great. I like the subtleness of this. It's not like an effect that kind of hits you in the face. It's just very subtle. Okay, I messed up the streaks underneath the turret bin. They are a bit too wide, so I have to clean up a lot there. And I'm sorry for not being in shot again. Yeah, if only like 1/3. Yeah, I agree with Krugerle there. You're so many subs that if only like one third, like spend €1. Yeah, you have 25,000 by now. So 1/3 would be Yeah, that would be $8,000 a month. Hell, fuck yeah. That should suffice to be a full-time modeler. That's more than you make making watches, I guess. Unless you're a very, very good watchmaker and you work for the big companies. Alright, there we go. I like this. Yeah, really like the look of this. The results are great. Really like this. So, we have done all the sides. Now what we have to do is do this mantlet piece right here. Again, we'll let this sit for a second. So the rest... Oh, wait. We're not done. I forgot some streaks on top of the turret basket. Oh, shame on me. See? That's the good thing if you just leave it there and look at it and check on it. That way you can see stuff like this when it happens. So just want to let it sit for a second in order to not just like mess up the streaks when you touch it. I'm not even sure how much I will be adding to the top of the turret. Of course, since there is this this edge on top of the turret, there will be of course some like coming from the radiator fan, coming from this this shell. I think this is for the shells. Like I will have some streaks coming down here, and down here, and maybe from this like all of the angles where there's dirt, and maybe some from the cupola. But I will not have like this much like going on top of the turret. I don't think so. But what do you think? I'm not like the perfect expert of how much dirt would collect on top of the turret. So, let me quickly move this over here and let me see how this matches the rest of... Oh yes, this looks good. I really like this. Yeah, I think it blends in perfectly. Yeah. I don't think you can see this on camera just yet, but I hope that you can see it once it's processed and once it's available in HD. Also, while we were gone, I painted some more of the stowage in the back, and I added the first wash, sludge wash of dark brown oils, and it's getting there. It's really getting there. And it's getting there to a point where I think that maybe on Thursday I can call this done, which would be great. So let's do the front of our turret, shall we? Yes. Let's do the front of our turret. Again, shake it well. Take it on your brush. That sounds just so weird. And of course, you want to focus on, especially like the rivets. Want to have it come down the rivets. Come down the edge. In some spots like this. Come down these openings. Come down from underneath the gun. And again, the rivets. Like where dirt would collect and just would be moved by rain, for example. Alright, like so. And of course, let it sit again. Yes, I painted the machine gun yesterday. I painted the machine gun yesterday. I was like, jeez, did I really forget to paint this? And I painted it yesterday, but I used the wrong color, so we'll have to go over this later on. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Appreciate that. What do you reckon? Painting it like black and then just direct, like, do you paint? No, it's a silverish iron color. Do you paint it black and then just dry brush it with like iron? Probably. I think I need to do this like this. Yeah. So again, let this sit for a second. And while this dries, I'll just take care of my rabbits, which I forgot to do before the video, but never mind. All I have to do is give them a bag of salad. There you go. There you go. Ah. Ah. Right, I'm sorry for this inconvenience, guys, but, you know, livestock needs treating. So, luckily that gave the streaking grime time to set. So, once again, White Spirit, and yes, some product placement, although I'm not sponsored by AK. It's just the White Spirit that I have right now. I do not, I don't know. Favorite brand of White Spirit or anything. And then just move the brush in a downward motion. Like so, then use a flat brush to I always need to check and look at it from my point of view so that I don't mess this up. Sorry guys, I would love to just show you everything facing your way. But I gotta make sure that I don't mess this up. this is just good. Really, really good. Just try to move the brush down, and like what they tell you is to just do it in subtle strokes. But I really like it if you just move the brush like I just did, like with a bit of like panache, right? Like that way you kind of simulate some impact in a way of like rain, just like having some impact on it. Let's see if you can actually see this on my computer, because it basically takes me back to what you just saw a couple seconds ago. Yeah, and I think you can see what I'm doing there rather nicely in shot. So yeah, so this is where we stand right now. Maybe you can still see some of them. It's a little heavier in some areas, but I don't mind this being a bit heavier of an effect. So our turret now, except for the top surface, is almost done. Now, this is a very important thing to always keep in mind. Do not forget the area in here. Do not forget these areas, because it would look so weird if all of your turret has streaks and stuff, and this area is just pristine, which it looks to be right now, because I forgot about it like all throughout the process. So, since that's the case, I will now use the streaking grime to create a different effect in that area. And I will use a lot more streaking grime now and just paint behind this with the streaking grime, and then I'll come back to this in a second and you'll see what I'm doing with this. And I'll do the same on the other side. Okay. I forgot to weather this. So now I'm basically in a position where I have to be like, how can I salvage this? How can I make this also look dirty and not like I forgot about it? So I'll show you guys exactly how I'm doing this. So first, clean off our brush. You might also just take some of the white spirit out of the bottle. And let's take this brush, which is also a flat brush, and but not as big as the one that we've used before. And now let's go out and blend this. Oh no, it's not heavy enough. It's too light. I think I have to do this differently. Yeah, I have to do this differently. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. That's not a problem. No. That is not a problem. I can do this differently. I'll do in a second, and I'll show you guys how I do it. The streaking grime is too light. Yeah, it's too light, sadly. So when you blend it, when you try to make it, gets taken off mostly, which is not what we want. We want this to be blended in and look dirty, right? But do not worry, I have an idea. I have an idea because I have this. This is an oil brusher and this is in medium gray, so let's use some of this. I think this is like a pristine oil brusher. I've used this once before. And you could already tell because the oil paint has dried around the tip, but that's not a problem. You could just brush it off and just like do like this. And then we'll just use this and we'll just create a different effect. And just brush it on. Down there. And down there. And we'll create a different effect. This is what happens when you do not paint this properly in the painting stage. But don't worry, we can salvage this. I hope. Otherwise, I'll just have to throw it in the bin. No, don't worry. Would never throw this in the bin this late in the stage that we are in now. Oh boy, what have I done? Oh man, stupid me. So how many viewers are we at now? 7. Welcome, welcome to the 7 viewers that are here with me today. Thank you for being here. I hope that you are enjoying what you are seeing so far. And if there are any questions, please let me know in the chat and I will try and answer your questions. Now we just use this flat brush, and we don't even like put any paint on it, or what am I saying, white spirit on it, and just use it dry to blend the oil paint that we just brushed on there with the oil brushers, and just blend in the gray paint. Basically what we're doing here is adding a shadow and a shade to this lower area of the turd, and to this area here on the side of the mantlet, and to the gun, of course, because we added some of it to the gun as well. Just creating a subtle effect. Just creating a subtle effect of warm paint, and of paint. Like, what's the right word here that I'm looking for? Usage, that the paint is used in a way, and try to blend it. It's important just to blend it and not have it like sit like it is without like manipulating it with a brush. There we go. That solved this issue well, I guess. Yeah. This now looks like some dirt in there. Now, all we have to do is the top of the turd. And not just this part here, but this part as well. Because as you can see, this also looks rather pristine. So, similar to what we just did, we take our oil brusher, shake it well, take some of it, and just put it on there. Not too much, because if you use too much, it's going to be hard to blend. And then, again, take our brush, which is still dry, and blend this. With a stippling motion, blend this in. Because this kind of adds some tonal variation that kind of looks like whatchamacallit, wear and tear. See, that was too much. It was a bit too much here. Take some of it off. We can still do this with some white spirit. Better. This blends it a lot better. Creates the effect that we wanted much better. Yeah, that's great. I like this. So now only one area left to deal with before we can deal with the top of the turd. And again, we take our oil brusher. This time it's the brown one. Which triangles do you mean? I mean these ones down here. They will receive the oil brusher dark brown treatment now. Make everything that's behind the gun and where there would actually be a little, like very little maintenance, they will receive some treatment with this. Like inside here, inside, like inside, as you can see, like inside there, behind it, right in here, and then of course down there, as you correctly pointed out. We'll receive some as well. So don't worry. But thank you for pointing this out. Yeah, every now and then I forget stuff. So let's do it inside first. Yeah. I'll try and keep this in shot for you guys, but it's hard for me to do this without, like, in a way for me to be able to see what I'm doing, and in a way for you to see what I'm doing. So it's a bit of a challenge. Yeah, this adds a nice brownish, rusty, dirty look to the inside there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then behind the gun, do the same thing. Grimy, dirty look, which is exactly what we want. And then of course you can use the flat brush to kind of blend it all, running backwards towards the turret in a way to make it look as if the rain kind of carries this towards the tank. Alright, and now the areas that you mentioned earlier. Oops, some paint on my fingers. Down there. But for this, oh god, I've got oils on my fingers, that's not a good thing. Because I can just smear them all over the tank, which I don't want to. So I gotta clean my fingers off in a second. So, now those areas down there that you talked about, just like with this dirt, move it along like this. Yeah, that should suffice. And then the same on the other side. Yep, that should suffice too. There you go. Now that's done as well. Just a slight tint. Let me put this back on so I can see if I like the final results that we have achieved so far. And I actually do like them. Maybe just tone them down a little more here. See, this looks good to me. Yes, this looks great. All right. So, what are we going to do next? Yes, we need to do the top of the turret. And for that, I will leave it on the tank because this gives me stability. It just lets me see what the flowing direction of it should be. And again, we need to shake our streaking grime really well. Always, those products really need good shaking. Oh, I can see all you got was a shot of my hand there in the last step. Great. Woot woot. I really like to show off my hands. And if I leave this like this, you guys can see this. This is why I'm doing this like this. So, let me just take the brush, and then of course, like I said, we will focus on this right there. And then there will be some here, maybe here, here, around the turbine, like from this optical side, and then smaller ones from here. And of course, over here, like so. All the areas where there might be dirt collecting, that then the rain would like move in a downward motion. And I know what I'm doing here with the white spirit is probably not how you should do this, because I kind of contaminate the entire bottle with oils, but I couldn't care less. So actually, I really love working with oils. When I started out modeling, I was always very careful with oils, and I was like, ah, I'm going to ruin my model. I don't really like this. And recently, I really have lately come around, and I really love working with them because the effects that you can achieve are great. Yes, for the engine covers, I used this dark brown oils from the oil brushers because they kind of imitate rust as well as grime as well as dirt that kind of collect around those edges. And of course, I will be adding some pigments to those areas as well. But overall, I gotta say, I'm really happy with how this has turned out so far. Oh, what has happened here? Jesus, what the hell? Something. What the hell? My new cutting mat has been ruined by myself. So, again, we'll wait for this to dry a bit, and then we can blend them. Oh. Oh. Okay, I've got paint on my arms. I think that me moving my arms over the cutting mat kind of has put paint on the cutting mat. But why did I have paint on my arms? This is bad. Fuck that. Yeah. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Considering that I still have 7 viewers, this is kind of a good sign for me, and I really appreciate you guys being here and watching this video today. Now I have to clean my arm. This is weird. Set my arm on a piece of towel. Otherwise I'm going to ruin my new cutting mat even more. So this should be sufficient drying time for this. Again, which brush do I use? Yeah, I'll use this brush today. No, for this, because I want some finer streaks. So we'll use this brush again. Wet it in White Spirit. And then just blend them in. Just blend them in. Oh god, I think I ruined this one. Nope. It's savable. Lucky. Lucky. More White Spirit on this one. I hope you guys can still see this. Yes, it looks as if you can see this. Great. Way too much grime there. Same here, way too much grime. Should have used a smaller brush to apply it. Or put less grime on the... Oh, what happened here? I think we have a hair on our model that now caught some paint. Yeah, there's a hair on the model. That's not good. Well, that's too much paint. That's too much paint. But nothing. Some White Spirit can't fix. Then again, those smaller ones here, you want to be really careful not to overdo it. And then I can move the turret like this, so I can show you what I'm doing while still seeing it myself, which is great. Oops. So where in the world are my viewers? I think I know where Krugerly is. The DE at the end of his name kind of gives this away. And I know where Mr. Barkers is. In bed and sick. But where are the other 5 situated right now? Where in the world are you guys? Let me know if you want to. Let me know. So, that should be that. I really love the results. This really looks great. And I will have some close-up pictures of this later on Facebook, where you will probably and hopefully be able to see this in more detail. But I have to say that I am really happy with how this looks. I have to say. How long has this video been going? 51 minutes. Great. But yeah, I really love the look of this. Let me see. Oh no, wait. Almost forgot this. There is more on this side of the turret. Yeah. I need to remove that. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I really like this. This really looks great. I love it. And I hope that the camera picks this up in the way that I hope it does. Because I cannot see this properly on my computer, how much of it is actually being picked up by the camera. So, what's next for this? After this has dried off a bit, I will protect this layer of the streaking grime with another layer of this, AK's Ultra Matte Varnish. Before then, adding a select few rust streaks with AK rust streaks. And once that's done, I will add some pigment, maybe some wet effects to some areas, some snow to some of the top surfaces, because let's face it, it's cold in Russia, and if there's snow on the ground, then maybe there should be some snow on the tank as well. And once that's done, I'll add some pigments to this area right here around the engine deck and the engine axis, and add some snow to the stowage. Finish painting the stowage first, then do some more dry brushing to the areas that I just finished. Maybe do some chipping to the helmets that are on there on the stowage. And then basically, we might just call this done soon. Now do some more rust streaks to the hull. Some dusting dirt to the rope wheels. To this sprocket right here. To the idlers. Finish off the tracks with weathering, and I think at this point we will be good to go and have this guy be done soon, which actually fills me with a lot of joy, because I did not think at the beginning of the week that I might be finishing this by Wednesday or maybe Thursday. Not entirely sure if it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, but overall I have to say I'm really pleased with the progress that I've made so far this week, and I'm really pleased where this sits right now. I really love the effects that we created today. And with this, I think I will end this first live stream of today, and maybe I will be coming back later on today. Maybe it's well like 7-ish German time, maybe 8-ish German time. I'll have a second live stream after the flat coat has dried, and maybe then we can add some rust streaks. And if we can't add rust streaks to the turret, we will be adding rust streaks to the rest of the vehicle. So thank you guys for watching. 7 at the highest today, 6 still. Thank you for sharing your time with me, and I hope I'll